So you've decided you want to get into sim racing, but sim racing is expensive. You don't know where to start. You don't want to blow your budget on something you're not going to like and have to buy something else straight away when you don't have the money to do it. Well, this video is going to tell you what I did, what I wish I'd known when I bought those things, and how I wasted money, and how I think you can avoid to do so. So let's get straight into it, shall we? So sim racing, on top of having the games, on top of having a PC, console, whatever way you're doing it, you're going to have to buy yourself a steering wheel. Yes, you can play most of these on a controller, but it's not really sim racing, and some of them's just not designed to work well on a controller, so you're never probably going to be competitive. And that's what most of us want to do. We want to win a few races here and there, don't we? What should you buy to begin with? There's so many different things. You've got direct drives over £1,000. If you're on a budget, do not spend near £1,000 unless you know already that you love sim racing. If you buy this thing over £1,000, you've got family commitments, you've got all the other things, you've got other hobbies, you've got bills to pay. You waste this money on over £1,000 and decide that you do not like sim racing. Your wife may not be happy. Your husband may not be happy. Whatever it is. So what I did when I got into sim racing is my first wheel was actually this really cheap Thrustmaster thing. I got lucky. It cost like £45. It's not a lot of money, but I didn't even have to pay it eventually. So I got it, instantly kind of realised this isn't good. It had no force feedback, so it was just a belt. When you turned it, it would pull back to the middle. You couldn't feel what the car was doing, and that's the whole point of sim racing. You need to feel what the car is doing to know when it's going to spin, skid, to know when it's not gripping. You need to feel the car. So with one of these wheels, you put at a disadvantage straight away. And that would have been a waste of £45. But luckily for me, I had a disconnect issue. It was a refurbished unit, you see, and it kept disconnecting. So it got sent back and I got a refund. And then it came to my first wheel. And it's a wheel that a lot of people buy as a first wheel. And so there's many versions. This is the wheel here. It's a Logitech G29. Now you have the G923, I think it is, and the G920. I think that's their names. They're basically pretty much the same wheel, except for on at least one of them they have what's called True Force, so it's kind of like a rumbling through the steering wheel to tell you, think of like your controller, to tell you what the car is doing. I've never tried it, I can't comment on it. These steering wheels, if you're going to buy them new, they'll cost you about £200, sometimes more. And straight away, I would tell you to stop. Do not buy them new. Do not buy a G29, G923 or G920. Do not buy them new. They're not worth that price. Not in today's market. There's very close to direct drive wheels. And if you're going to pay that much, buy a direct drive. These are gear driven. They are Thrustmaster versions. Very similar. They're going to be belt driven. I actually recommend this over the Thrustmaster, although my new wheel, which we'll get into soon, is a Thrustmaster, but I recommend this over because these are pretty much bomb proof. I've not heard of many faults with these. This is still working well, and it was second hand when I bought it. Could have even been second hand when the user before had it. And this is why I'm going to tell you, unless you find it on Facebook Marketplace, get one of these on eBay. I paid £100, well £99 for this. Yes, you don't get the warranty, but they tend to be bomb proof. They're quite sturdy things. Yes, the cheap plastic they are, but the wheel itself is quite sturdy. The paddles are quite nice. I got nothing wrong with this. The main limitation over something like this, apart from the fact it's gear driven, but there's esports drivers that will still race these and they're really competitive, even might win. But the real limitation in my eyes comes down to the pedals. So the pedals themselves, you've got the throttle, the clutch. You've also got the brake. It's the brake where the issue is. That is too easy to put down. There's mods you can get. It's far too easy to put down, and it's done by distance, and that's not the best thing. So when you're getting into sim racing, you'll hear the phrase trail break into the corners quite often. It's a lot more difficult to do it on one of these than it is on a load cell. Yes, if you're on a console, you'd be stuck with these pedals if you have the G920, G923 and the G29. You'll be stuck with these. And you can get used to them. You can trail brake. There's people that can do. They've actually okay. Like, yes, it's very plasticky, but they've got the metal here, so it's perfectly adequate. You've also got a carpet, spikes here to stop it sliding. I do recommend though putting, if you are going to go down this line, this is the cheapest way you can get into sim racing properly, I think. So it's £100, and you'll get the pedals around about £100. Could be a bit more, it depends. You might get them for a bit less, and you'll get the brake. You've got the clutch as well. A lot of pedal sets you'll find do not come with clutch. We'll get onto them in a minute. But the clutch is handy if you decide to go right on the realistic side and get yourself a shifter. This is, by the way, I just bought it new because it's not real expensive. It's £40, price of the game, and it's nothing special. It feels a bit like a toy, but it gets the job done. Nothing actually wrong with it. You've got, I think it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You've got 6. You've got 7 gears because one of them's a reverse. You have to push it down before you put it in the 6th gear. So you get your pedals and that. But again, the biggest limitation is going to be the brake. However, I didn't like the gear driven ones, but that's not to say that you wouldn't. And if you are on an extreme budget, this is the line to go. This is what you want. But if you can afford something else, that's where my new wheel will kind of come in. This wheel, I'll just show you, is called, it's a Thrustmaster T598X. So the X just means it's the Xbox version. It'll work on Xbox and PC. If you do buy it, most people will probably go for the PlayStation version. I wasn't really bothered because I don't really intend on playing on console, but if you are into Gran Turismo 7, you will want the PlayStation version, which is just the T598. It hasn't gotten that letter at the end. But what this will give you is an entry into, I say an entry, there's lower ones, but it's basically an entry into direct drive. Direct drive, instead of using gears, it uses pretty much magnets in the motor to pull it, and it's more instant, so it instantly pulls you back. It feels better, and the main reason why I needed to change away from the gear ones is I make videos, and the mic, I didn't want the mic picking up the clonking. These are loud. I mean, listen. This one's still quite loud, but not as bad. More of a thump, a flop. This is a big, you could hear the switches. This is magnetic. So, this is quieter. It has more power than this, by the way. That is 2.3 Newton meters. So it's, you feel it. But if you're a strong guy or girl, you're not gonna, I don't think it's gonna be enough for you. If you're a kid, then yes, definitely. If you are looking at getting your kids something, I do recommend one of these, because you know what kids are like. They change their mind every 5 minutes. What they liked yesterday, they might not like today. So yeah. But this is going to set you back. So it set me back £360. It's usually about 400. 360 Black Friday deal, you see. So if it's around Black Friday, if you're getting close and you're thinking about upgrading, do it once the Black Friday deals come out. Don't upgrade just before something like a Black Friday, because you'll find you'll be spending maybe £50 or so more. This will give you a direct drive, and it's a 5 Newton meter wheel, so double the power of this, 5 Newton meters, Plus it's got a peak time, so if I crash, someone crashes into me, or I hit like the curb hard, it's going to give 10. Just for a couple of seconds it'll be 10. And you do notice a difference when you're racing. But it's 5 peak, it's like normal. It's just like a one-off couple of seconds thing. You will double in power. And one issue I found, so I bought this as a package, I got the pedals. And here's the pedals. With this is what you would expect from one of these. You're going to get pedals like this. And except when I bought these, there was no way to really upgrade them, other than our website does a slight mod, but it's still distance. So it's a lot more powerful. Like, you need, if you're using the stronger spring, because you get different springs. So example, that's your throttle. Easy to go down, but this requires some strength. It's a lot easier for your feet though. That's one thing I'm pointing out. If I can do it with my hands, I can do it easily with my feet. A lot more power in your legs. So this is on the highest setting with the highest spring. You get that elastomer with it. But you'll notice how small this is, and it doesn't come with the clutch. So this is throttle brake, and that's it. So if you were looking for super realism in your car without basically changing to a load cell, which we'll get into in a minute, you can't get a gear stick for this because you got no clutch. You're not going to have a clutch, so you are limited to paddles. Most cars use these anyway. Most race cars, GT3s and all this Formula 1 cars is all these paddles anyway. But if you were wanting to get yourself a gear stick, which I will show you my other one now, well in a second, a gear stick like an add-on, you're not going to be able to get one with the default pedals, but you do have a few options. As of yesterday, they have added a load cell upgrade, and what that will do, it will give you another, this panel, they will change, you will get a bigger panel, and you will get a new brake. So this will become your clutch, so you will want to change that. You don't want that tightness for your clutch. And the new panel is about that size, so you're going to get the space. This will move, stay to here, and then you'll get the brake in the middle, which is the load cell. We'll get into what load cell is in a second, but what it's going to do is it'll also open your door. You do have you do have another version of this. This is pretty much the exact same, but you do have the clutch pedal, but it does not come with the T598, so you would have to buy that. It's like £100, so you would have to buy that on it. Bear in mind, if you are playing on PC, it really doesn't matter. You don't need the Thrustmaster pedals. You can connect any pedals to your PC and play it with your Thrustmaster wheel. But if you are going to console route, it needs to be connected to your wheel. So you need the Thrustmaster one. Anyway, to be realistic, another thing is, and you're going to get kind of like a theme here. On eBay, I bought this. This is called TH8A pretty much. It's not actually the A, but it's the exact same as the A. It's an older version. It's the TH8RS. So the A is what you would get now. That was actually £75. So I paid for this. The so they're like £160 new. Again, for the budget of this, always look on eBay, and you can get different gear sticks. Again, this is a benefit of PC. You do not have to put, this doesn't actually plug to your wheel anyway. It only plugs straight into your PS3, PS4 or PC. If you're plugging into a PS4, if it's the RS version, you will need the firmware. So you will have to plug it in the PC first to upgrade its firmware. So yeah, it's for £75 and you get 7 gears plus the reverse, so pretty much the exact same, but the 7th gear is just to the right and down. You don't have to push down. And it also gives you, I haven't got on this because it was second hand, a plastic panel for the top that you can screw on and change it to sequential, and that's a big thing. Logitech also do their gears, but you cannot make the new H paddle shifter sequential. You have to buy the sequential on it, so it's basically, they're about the same price as this, but you're going to have to buy them twice. So that's why I recommend Thrustmaster side for this. Although there's other ways. You've got these ones on, I think it's AliExpress, and they're actually really good, I've heard. Not too sure what the warranties will be like, but yeah. So if you're going for realism, you need a third pedal, so you will have to pay at least probably another £100 on top of the set. So that's where the other thing comes right. Thrustmaster do also sell this unit itself. You don't get the steering wheel, so that's going to cost you on top. I can't remember what the units cost, but it is a viable option if you already, especially if you have a Thrustmaster wheel already that can come off, like this one. The wheel can be changed. You can buy a more expensive wheel. This one is very cheap that this comes from. I don't want to make it a review on this wheel. I will do on the review if you want. But that'll get you into... I'm trying to get this back on now. It's easy as that. That'll get you into direct drive. So you're looking at, again, £400. We'll square off £400 for a unit like this, and that'll do most people. You won't have the load cell though, so it is something to think about probably upgrading. And here is how I upgraded that. Again, on eBay. They do have the upgrade. That is £120. As of today, they're out of stock. They've been on sale for 1 day and are out of stock. And I have heard some bad things with what Thrustmaster is saying. It is going to be December. So that is 6 months' time till they're back in stock. So that is not good. But what I did, I couldn't be bothered waiting, because it took ages to bring them out. Thrustmaster sorted out. Is this. These are Thrustmaster pedals as well. Again, you do not need Thrustmaster. And they are the TLCM. And that adds a load cell. So instead of it being distance, what this gives you is the ability to put a load. It doesn't move far. It's how much pressure you put on it. I've got mine set at 75 kilograms to give 100% brake power. So again, it gives me the third pedal. I now have a clutch, and it also gives me something that makes it easier to trail brake, because like muscle memory is a lot easier than knowing where your foot is in space. So these are all about where is your foot in space. Where are we? So we're down here. Right, you can find 100% easily. Just press it till it stops moving. But tapering off, you don't know how much pressure that's still going to be putting on. So the brake. So you're like, because it's just spray, it's not actually pressure, it's just the distance that this is. So you're 100%, and that's probably about 90 there. You don't know that when it's on the bottom of your foot, unless you're so accustomed to it. You've probably been doing it for years. Like I said, esports competitors are still using them type of pedals. It's not impossible, it's just more difficult. And these, so that was £100. That's how much I paid for these, £100. So altogether, we've got 360, again, Black Friday deal, remember. I think it was £70 for the stick. So you're 360 to 70. That is already £430 plus £100. £530 if my math serves me correctly. Hard to do it while recording the video. And that's what you're looking to spend to have a budget direct drive at least 5 Nm wheel. Can probably maybe find them in a second-hand market for less, but it is few and far between. It will be difficult. So that's why we said, if you're on an extreme budget, or you've never tried sim racing before, you don't know if you're going to like it, and keep at it, buy yourself a Logitech G29. That way, you will have wasted, again on eBay, second-hand market, you will have wasted £100. It's not the end of the world, but if you are going down the direct drive market and you find you do not like it, so you've not given it you've not tried it out yet, you're going to have wasted £530, even if you like doing it for the cheap. So in this, you're going to, if you've got family, you've got commitments and that's a lot of money to have wasted, and that's not the total yet. Because here's the big issue also, if you're going direct drive. I'd already bought myself a stand. So this stand set this back about £70. I think it was a Christmas gift, so I can't remember how much it was completely. Partner bought me it for Christmas. It's about £70. We'll say thereabouts. Because if you're putting a direct drive on a desk, that's not a good idea. Even a 5 Newton meter one. So when I crash and this jumps to 10, this moves. It wobbles. And this is heavy. Most desks are not the weight of this. Even with maybe the PC sitting on it, the console sitting on it. You will need one of these. And that brings another thing. If you think about it, it's got a load cell. I have to put 75 kilograms of pressure on that brake pedal to move. That would cause this office chair to slide back. You probably notice it's slightly connected to here. But there's another issue. Even with making sure this is rooted. By the way, I have taken the wheels off of this as well to make it completely rooted. It cannot roll, but it would count backwards without the wall. But even with that, even if this chair is rooted, this unit will slide. It will slide away. So what I used to do is kind of like pin it against a PC desk. But now, not like this. This is another thing again. This is all about being cheap. What can you do? Take the wheels off of your office chair and put it close to the wall. Plus, if you bought one of these, which I recommend you definitely do, attach it to the chair somehow. Look at that, rudimentary. So it can't slide forward. Obviously the chair can't go backwards because of the wall. It can't move forward because it's attached to the chair. And that is a very rudimentary way of getting yourself load cell pedals, but it adds up. I'm presuming you're going to have a chair of some sort, but you will have to attach it to one of these units so this doesn't slide forward. There's another way. If you've got your monitor and your PC at the side, so you've got your PC desk, I don't have this option, you can put one of these against the wall and that will stop it sliding, but then you've got the issue of this. Now the last way you can possibly do it is just bring the load cell pressure right down. Change it to something minute like 30 kilograms, but it's going to be harder to modulate your braking for trail braking, so it defeats the purpose. Just keep yourself a holographic sensor pedal in that case. There's no point upgrading to a load cell. So altogether you're looking at £600 and you're still having to do rudimentary fixes. So it's by no ways cheap, but it's probably one of the cheapest ways to do it. What I wish I'd done at the start, I wish I never bought this wheel. I wish I went straight to this, but that's going to depend on you again. If you've never raced it, you do not have the money to burn, this is the best budget way of getting into sim racing, because it does everything that this wheel does, just not as well. And you don't get a load cell pedal. But for me, I've liked it, so I've spent £100 that I maybe didn't need to spend and could have just saved £100. But that's better than wasting £500. So, again, I've got another fix that I'm going to be doing to this. So this actually does come, you can buy the seat. This is another recommendation to keep it so you don't have as much rudimentary fixes. You can get the back of this unit to make it a rig, but the seat costs an extortionate amount. You're going to be at £270, I think it is, for the seat and the black back panel to connect to this for the over, so already £70. So that's a lot of money. So what I'd like to do is a little DIY. I don't have to make a whole cockpit DIY, but I'm going to buy some wood, connect it, and I'm looking to buy an old car chair from like a scrapyard or someone around about that might be scrapping a car, getting a new, changing the bucket seats, whatever it is. That's another thing, don't buy bucket seats if you're going down this route, because bucket seats are great for racing in a real car. but they're uncomfortable. Make this comfortable. You don't need a bucket seat for sim racing unless you've got a motion rig, in which case it's not a budget. You look at it anyway. You've got a lot of money if you've got one of them. So that'll keep your costs down. So I recommend, if you know you like it, go down this route. A Thrustmaster T598, I'll do a review on it if enough people are interested in this. The Moza R5, I don't recommend R3 because it's far too close to the power of this, and I just don't think that's enough for most people. So I recommend the Moza R5. Again, you will have to upgrade to a load cell if you want a load cell. But most people might not care about a load cell. If you're just doing it as a casual hobby, then and you don't care about improving as much, and you might not see much need in a load cell. You might not want the realistic gear sticks. These are just things that you can do, you don't have to do. And in which case, £360 Black Friday deal, it's done. It's just the games on top of that PC if you don't have one. It's obviously another cost. But yeah, I recommend the Logitech G29. If you've never tried sim racing, you'll definitely keep at it, or you're on an extreme tight budget and £100 really is all you can stretch. For all the other people, you've tried, you know you like it, you want, and even whether or not you've tried it on a wheel yet, you love it on your controller, but it's obviously most games you really need the wheel these days. Other than like your Gran Turismo 7s, you want to try out things like Assetto Corsa Evo, Race Room and all that. You want the wheel, and you're going to stick at it. £500 is how much you're looking at spending. A 360 if you're not caring about improvements so much. So £360 to £500 is what you're going to look to spending. That's how I did it, and I've got no regrets. Even with the Logitech, I don't necessarily have a regret, but I could have saved myself £100 there. So I hope you found this video informative. I hope it's helped you in some way know how to get into sim racing. If you have the Logitech G29, you're looking for an upgrade route, I do recommend this. It did have issues, the T598. It had issues for connection. I believe they are now fixed. However, there's one thing they have not fixed, and it's a USB Type-C cable that comes with it. It's absolute trash. It feels good. It feels like it's strong, it's braided and stuff like that, but it disconnects constantly. Buy yourself a new USB Type-C cable and you'll be ready to go. I don't have any faults with this apart from maybe the size, but it doesn't really bother me because I'm quite tall. Maybe if you're a smaller person, this is going to get in the way. It is bulky. So like you can see how bulky. There's smaller options, the Moza i5, and I think it's the Logitech IS50 or IS250, I can't remember. Something like that. The other ones to look at, but the Logitech is slightly more expensive. For something the exact same would be a Logitech. No, not like a Moza. But then you've got the issue, I don't think Mozas work on PlayStation. So if you are playing on PlayStation, that leaves you this one. There's also Fanatec, but again, they're a bit more expensive. And I've heard awful things of the customer service, so don't feel comfortable recommending a Fanatec on here, especially for people on a budget, because you end up throwing your money away on something that works for a couple of months or a year and stops working, and next to no customer service to get fixed. So there we go. If you did like this video, please hit that like and subscribe button. Drop me a comment down below. What did you start sim racing on? Are you just getting into sim racing? Did you find this helpful? Drop a comment down below. Say hi. If you're interested in watching another video, I've got a video here on screen right now recommended to you, and it will show you the game that I recommend you all start out on. Most forgiving game, Race Room. Anyway, until the next time, thanks for watching, thanks for making it this far. Hit like and subscribe, and I'll catch you in the next one. Cheers and peace out.
That's all, folks.